In a bustling conference hall filled with anticipation, the 2025 Budget Consultative Forum unfolded as a beacon of hope for community members seeking to shape their future. The event, a vocal point of discussion on the Jubilee Challenge and its impact on the upcoming fiscal year, drew a diverse assembly of stakeholders, including government officials, monarchs, chiefs, dignitaries, and local leaders.
Alade Shoyi, Oba Odo North Orija, Oba Odo of North Orija Kingdom. Alailuwa Oba G.A. Adegbeson, Onise of Iseland, Kabiesio. All our baales and chiefs here present, I acknowledge you individually and collectively. Council Chairman here present, Honorable Ogun Semowo, Chairman of Ikosi Ejiri LCDA, the Chairman of Lekki LCDA, Honorable Adeleke Olabayo, the Chairman of Eredo LCDA, Honorable Akingbade Yakub. I also acknowledge the Iyaloja General, Chief Mrs. Folashade Ojo Tinubu, who is ably represented by Chief Mrs. Joseph Onwudiwe Abeni. The Lagos State Council of Tradesmen and Artisans, the CDC is here, representatives of the CDC here present, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this 6th Budget Consultative Forum of this Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu-led administration. This August gathering is the preparation for year 2025 budget hosted by the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. This forum has always charged itself to reach out to the 5 divisions in Lagos State so that inputs from all stakeholders are taken into consideration in the state's budget preparation process to further ensure transparency, accountability, inclusion, effective representation, and acceptability of the budget. As a government, our commitment to the well-being of citizens and residents of Lagos, as well as the growth of our state, is resolute and unwavering. We shall remain dedicated to the successful completion of ongoing projects, the implementation of pivotal and iconic ones that will make our infrastructure robust, resilient, and thereby creating economic opportunities for all residents. Above all, we shall continue to ensure that Lagos State remains a beacon of cultural vibrancy, intellectual prowess, and humanistic values. A Lagos that not only drives the economic engine of Nigeria, but also enriches the soul of the West African corridor. Our philosophy remains that for democracy to maintain its essence, citizens' engagement with the government must be encouraged and indeed deliberately courted. This is evident in our state slogan of Ajimoshe, which literally means joint effort. It has been on this principle that the government has moved from one state consultative forum to 3 senatorial districts and now coming down to each of the 5 Ibile divisions of our great state. This gives the people a voice to have a say in the state's budget preparation, while also holding the government accountable to deliver on projects agreed upon, while strengthening our resolve of an all-inclusive government and reinforcing it with the mantra of no man must be left behind, either on account of social status, age. This administration will focus on policies and programs that will ensure that everyone is carried along and catered for. Thus, the main reason why the state has always adhered to proper consultation and due diligence, especially in decision-making process, while also creating an avenue to update stakeholders on the performance of the current year budget and the resources available for the annual budget, taking into cognizance all economic variables such as global and local inflation and much more. Most importantly, this forum provides us with an ample opportunity to share ideas geared towards a greater Lagos, while rubbing minds with you, the citizens, to ensure that your desired interests are captured in the budget as resources available permits. The audience here has been from traditional rulers, The job organized private sector, professionals, trade groups, NGOs, groups and organizations, disabilities, and the civil society in order to engender confidence and buy-in toward the developmental objectives of this administration. And our expectation of this forum is the significant participation in the budget preparation process by everyone present here today. So the success of this administration rests on the cooperation of everyone, while assuring you that concerted efforts are being made annually to improve our tax and non-tax revenues in order to meet citizens' expectations and enhance overall service delivery by the government agencies. We seize this opportunity to appeal to fulfill their civic responsibility through regular payment of taxes, obeying traffic rules, being environmental friendly, and overall also being security conscious. It suffices to say at this juncture, divisions will be expected to present programs and projects that are beneficial to the people of utmost importance towards improving the socio-economic well-being, wealth, critical development of each division. Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once more, we are of the view that the success of this administration rests on the collaboration of all. Let me, on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner, the Acting Permanent Secretary, Management and members of staff of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget and Lagos State Government as a whole, welcome you all, our distinguished personalities, to this all-inclusive Budget Consultative Forum and wish you all a successful deliberation. Thank you and God bless.
As the forum commenced, the host laid out a comprehensive overview of the 2025 budget, emphasizing its significance in addressing pressing community needs. Each community representative was entrusted with a vital task to document their specific concern and priority, ensuring that no voice went unheard. These detailed submissions were set to be meticulously reviewed, paving the way for necessary actions to address the highlighted issue.
And the progress we've made so far on these projects from last year to this year. The whole idea is for it to be a consultative forum. It's very interactive. We'll break into groups and be able to hear and get the information that you want, and also based on the themes plus agenda, the areas that are very important and particular to you, we can then take that back and go and look at it in the office and factor it into our budget for 2025. Make the presentation as quick as possible. It's just to give you highlights of where we are, what has happened. It's broken into 6 areas, which is the outline for the presentation. As a word of introduction, as I said earlier, we're about to commence our budget cycle for the new year 2025. So what this is able to do is we're trying to bring governance closer to you, to the people, and this is part of our inclusive government themes plus agenda, where we can hear from you, take it back and factor it into account. So going through all the 5 immediate divisions today, we're in the fantastic city of Epe, so say thank you for the welcome, and to say that we want to be able to go back and say to, when we get back to the office, factor in all what you've asked us for and put into our budget process. So just a few slides about Lagos. So as a city, we remain a huge city, one of the fastest growing and biggest in Africa. We're close to 29 million people. We're characterized by very high economic growth. We have huge urbanization and we have very impressive cultural diversity. Interestingly, the state is ranked as one of the leading startup ecosystems in Africa. We've increased by over 12 points in our global ecosystem index. We boast huge unicorns such as OPay, Flutterwave, and we host the Pan-African e-commerce giant, Jumia. We have more than 500 startups, accounting for over 73% of the national startups in the country. So as a state, we remain very in terms of our GI constitutes, in terms of our IGR, which constitutes over 76% of our total revenue, and it accounts for more than 80% of our national GDP. Given the huge infrastructural drive and orientation we have as a state, 23% of our budget for 2024 has been allocated to infrastructural renewal and development to help our growing Guinea population. Moreover, the state has looked at various initiatives and projects to help promote the standard of living for our people, ranging from the energy supply, expanding infrastructure, and also paying attention to food security. So looking at our budget for taking a retrospective look, going back at our budgets and our budgeting process in 2022, we'll just give you a focus of our journey so far to see how we've done and where we are up to speed. So our 2022 budget was focused on key areas. It was tagged the budget of consolidation. A lot of what we looked at was expansion of our infrastructure development. We looked at projects such as the Lekki Road. We looked at the Okwebi Bende Bridge. We tried to upscale our emergency rescue services, equipping fire services. We looked at the Massey Street Hospital, which we started. Construction is ongoing. We also tried to pay attention to improvements in our human capital development and social intervention. We also looked at education, wealth creation. Our employment trust funds gave out loans to SMEs, small business, nano businesses. We also looked at ensuring that we can start to work on sustainable development goals. Food security was very key. We started paying attention to food security. We increased our support to farmers and creation of food banks. We paid attention to technology, our security and safety. We tried to enhance our intelligence gathering capabilities with the employment with Security Trust Fund. We also looked at being able to ensure that we could facilitate community projects and development within communities and implementing more community-type-based solutions, which is why gatherings like this are very important for us to hear back from the community and see what it is, because we realize that each community is different and what you require in Ekwe will be different from what we require in Ikorodu, so we try and make it as specific as possible. So building on the success of the 2022 budget, the 2023 budget was designed for continuity and was then tagged the budget of continuity. The highlights of this budget also included but not limited to ensuring that we will continuously facilitate our food security. We will continuously build on our emergency response services as well, strengthening the fact that we will create a lot of affordable housing for our citizens and expand our programs, our humanitarian programs. We also paid more attention to education, technology, and processing sectors. We also looked at transportation. The blue line was something that was. We currently now have blue line. So we currently now have the blue line running. It's in operation. The blue line is carrying close to 10,000 passengers a day. We have close to 4 million Lagosians that are on the Cowrie card, so what that does for them is they can go and tap into all the various modes of transportation. They can use on the ferries, they can use on the buses, they can use on the train. So we're happy that we have close to 4 million Lagosians now on the Cowrie card, which is growing, constantly growing every day. The red line is something that's coming online now. There are other lines as well. The one particular line that's of interest to this area would be the green line, which is also going to come in, and that will open up the whole area. The Lekki deep sea port is here. The infrastructural renewal in this area is key. This is one of the fastest growing areas in the West African corridor, so we know that we need to pay a lot of special attention to the Ekwe axis. So looking at our current budget for 2024, as I talked about, we emphasized continuous infrastructural upgrading and investments. We also looked at the fact that we're very keen and we're very conscious of the fact that with the macroeconomic indices changing the year, we knew that it would be difficult for we to ensure that we carried our citizens along. So food security was very key to ensure that we could carry people along. We looked at the One Jericho initiative, which was quite successful, the food banks, and ensuring that social protection was a huge part of what we intend to do. Now, in going along with the Things Plus agenda as well, don't left behind, we ensured that we carried that goal along in Things Plus, so youth employment, youth empowerment, gender equality, all in the Things Plus agenda, so it's all an encompassing agenda for everyone. So, some more highlights of the 2024 budget, which was the budget of renewal, as I said, social inclusion very key, affordable world-class housing, healthcare. We looked at the Massive Children's Hospital, which is currently being constructed. That's close to over 60% completion. Other notable projects we looked at, we talked about the red line, the food and logistics hub, which we also then had, food and logistics hub, which is being constructed, the largest in the West African, Sub-Saharan African area. We then also looked at the fact that to help this hub work properly, there are 5 middle markets in all the divisions that are being created as well. And what that does for us is that we realize that as a state, Lagos State having the smallest arable land, but having the biggest markets, we've then gone into collaboration with a state like Niger that has the largest arable land for farming, and then we can ensure that the goods, because the big problem we have is that a lot of wastage, we can't store the food. So we find that with this logistics hub that is being built and the middle markets, that will help solve the situation of food wastage. So just a few highlights of the situation, economic situation, just to give you an idea of where it is we are. As a state, very, very large economic size, about 43.1 trillion naira in 2022. We've had good growth, close to about 6.59%. We've had good improvements in our federal allocation from about 38.5 to about 42. March 2024 to about 2 billion in April 2024. As I spoke about our LSCT, Employment Trust Fund program has grown. We've empowered a lot more businesses. We know that for this, there's still a lot of work to do, specifically when we look at maybe the market women and market association. We know that in terms of being able to access these loans have been maybe a bit tedious in terms of the red tape. So we're looking at various ways to make it a lot easier, where maybe we can come together as groups and be able to sort of access those funds as well. So there's been a lot of improvements in our capital importation. We've close to 2.8 billion received in the first quarter of 2024. And we've also looked at various projects. We're currently working with last one now to ensure that the OMECO, which is being able to enhance our ferry services, is being rolled out. Over the last couple of months, Mr. Governor recently commissioned close to 15 over 40-seater capacity ferries. What that has done for us is that all these ferries were locally built here in Lagos. So job employment, job creation, and the fact that we're able to build capacity and the multiplier effect, and that has helped open up our transportation system. Some more highlights and just indications of where we are in terms of our informal sector, which is growing. We've looked at constructing quite a few more drainage services. We've also looked at the effectiveness of curbing our spread of cholera. We had an outbreak of cholera over the last couple of months. We're happy to say that that's a lot better now under control. Advocacy and sensitization was paid to that. A lot of everything we do and we've done has been built on our Economic Development Plan, LSDP Plan 2022-2052. It's an ongoing plan. We continuously look and ensure that we can bring it down to a granular level where we take into account what you want to see and then go back and plug it back into the plan. So these are just some of the initiatives and some of the plans. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the things we try and achieve from these forums are to ensure that we come back, we hear from you. So from the last year when we were here, there were a few projects we talked about, and just to give you a bit of an update as to what's been going on. So obviously the rehabilitation and upgrading of Lekki Expressway under construction. We're happy to say progress has been made. We are also progressing on the development of the airports in Ebe. It's also under progress. We are hoping that at least we'll be able to see some traction and some work we'll be able to start this year. I think all around, generally, a lot of upgrades and improvements in projects around the area. And as I said, it's for us to be here and take back some more information and go back and ensure that we can put in what else we want to hear again into our 2025 goals. I'd also like to implore that it is not a one-day affair, it's a continuous interaction, and we hope that as we go along, we'll be able to come and listen to what you want to say, take it back, and continuously come to us and let's continuously look at it and monitor and track the progress of what we've done. Also, just a few highlights of some pictures of some projects we've looked at. So we looked at a lot of ongoing construction of the K2G Rehabilitation Center, which is ongoing. Which is ongoing. So these are some pictures of that. The completion of the survey for the Akoko network of roads in Epe as well. This is that's going on. So a lot of the pictures you see, the before, the after pictures of what has been the upgrades and the works we've been looking at doing in Epe. The upgrade of the Saleke Expressway, as I spoke about earlier, ongoing. We are happy that we've made significant progress on that. We're hoping to be able to wrap up and put that to completion fairly shortly. So again, some more pictures of some projects that have been upgraded in the area. The development of the rice mill is something we're also proud of. That has kicked off. The surrounding infrastructure in that area as well is being looked at and will be upgraded. The cattle feedlots transit station as well, something being developed and looked at. We spoke about the food and logistics hub as well, which is over 70% the rice mill. So the next couple of slides will show the food and logistics hub, which is currently at over 70% completion. And we hope that this is the prototype. This is actual pictures of what's going on there. So we hope that at least once this is complete, it will be a game changer for us in sort of manage our food transportation within the state, in a proper structure to be able to sort of store and keep our foods. So the next couple of slides, I mentioned the Massive Children's Hospital. This is the prototype of it. As I mentioned earlier, this is ongoing work of the hospital where we see where we are. Where, as I said, at over 60% completion. We're hoping to be able to sort of move quickly and ramp it up. We also had a lot of initiatives, as I mentioned earlier, on intervention programs, the trader money launch, which was very successful. I think also we noticed that over the last couple of weeks, Mr. Governor recently announced where, as a state, we fully paid off the backlog of all the pensioners for the Lagos State. So at this point in time, everywhere in the state, country has finished certain people any pensions. I think that's something that we're very, very proud of and very happy to be able to sort of have done. We've looked at also a lot of things, as I mentioned, the OJO, which we looked at, where we ensured that we were able to get intervention as citizens. We paid a lot of attention to the agri sector, the food and logistics of the agri scholars program. We ensured that we were able to provide enough palliatives for our people. We understand that we know that once it was not enough, but at least we managed to start the process, and it's something that we'll continuously keep getting better at and input for our farmers with attention to ensuring that we'll provide the right sort of activities for our farmers in mechanization and feedlots and all what was required. So for us, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's a case of ensuring that it's an interactive session. These are some more pictures of some more projects and interventions that we've made. But it's for us to be able to hear back from you and to be able to sort of take back your solutions and go back and sit down and try and plug that back into 2025 budgeting process.
The atmosphere was one of the collaborative energy and mutual respect. The Deputy Governor, who joined the proceedings via Zoom, reinforced the administration's commitment to equitable development. His virtual presence underscored the importance of inclusive governance, with the promise that every request, whether from local leaders or monarchs, would be given due consideration.
So I could job. If I find no, but in the So I can ká mọ̀ pé ní àgbègbè wa ń bẹ̀ ó jẹ ohun tó jẹ wá lógún. Bí mo lè ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbọ́dọ̀ kí gbogbo wa pátápátá, gbogbo ẹ̀yin màmá wa tí mo rí, gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, gbogbo ẹ̀yin kábíyèsí àtàwọn baálẹ̀ padà àtàwọn olóyè wa tí ẹ kún síbẹ̀ ẹ̀ mọ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́jà àwọn wà ń bẹ̀ àtẹ́rù. Tí gbọ́ǹkan tí ó wù ní lọ́kàn àwa náà lè máa mọ̀ pé bá ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ gbé sí rè, bá ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ gbé sí rè. Kẹlẹ̀ mọ́ sí pé àwọn ará Èkó a ní àǹfààní kan sí bàbá wa Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu wọ́n ti jẹ gómìnà wa rí, àwọn ni president Nàìjíríà sìn. So ẹrù yẹn ó máa ń pọ̀ lórí wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sọ pé àwa la ní àjòjì jù ní Nàìjíríà. Èkó ló ní àjòjì jù bó ti jẹ́ pé nípa ti ilẹ̀ àwa la kéré jù Nàìjíríà, nípa ti ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀. Tòtá bá pín Nàìjíríà sí 100, ilẹ̀ ti Èkó kò tó ìdá kan ní 100 yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n tá bá pín èèyàn sí 100, bíi 11 làwa kó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Jẹ́ pé ó ti yẹ díẹ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan. So ìrànlọ́wọ́ a máa fẹ́ látọ̀ ẹnu ilé ó ṣe díẹ̀ ẹ máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́. So ọlọ́run fi yẹn kẹwàá ń sìn àwọn náà lè máa tẹ́kì tó lè lò pé ní advantage of that. So mo lérò pé gbogbo wa náà ni ọmọ abínibí Yorùbá kò ní ìtòkè rẹ̀ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ òyìnbó. So ọlọ́run ọba àwa pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn olùdókòwò púpọ̀ pé wọ́n pè gbogbo adẹ̀mẹ̀ jáde síta dáadáa. Mo lè ní ojú màmá mi ló gún régé, àwọn bàbá náà gún régé o, ọ̀tàwọn ìyá ẹ̀ wọ́n gún régé dáadáa. Ọlọ́run lè ba àwọn oníjẹ́ ọ̀dágbára ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run lè lójú rẹ̀, ọlọ́run ajọ́ ká jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ wa, àwọn ọmọ ìlú ẹ̀yà kúnyà, gbàgbà ọlọ́run, àwọn òde ní gbàgbà kúnyà, gbàgbà ọlọ́run. Ẹ ṣe wo dúpẹ́ o, mo ní kí n kí inú pé ẹ ṣe wọ́n ṣe kúrò ní tẹ̀tẹ̀ dìde pẹ̀lú ilé. Mo lè ní pé bàbá ṣe mú ṣe sọ náà pé ojú gún régé dáadáa. So àdúgbò fọlọ́ àmì ṣàìsàn agbára náà. Ẹ ṣe o, òkè gbogbo yín o. Commissioner, I thank you very, very much. Minister of Economic Planning. I thank you very much for what you are doing. Building all components of the thing, emphasize some of the things that we are doing and some of the challenges that we have. So I must thank you very, very, very much for doing that. And for when you come back to the, we can see a collation of everything from all parts of the state, from Oshofe to Ekpe to Badagry to Ibejuleki and the rest. So the God be with you, the God be with all of us. And everybody, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ọba Owolabi Saheed Momsen, the Agbowa of Agbowa Ekosi. I was níbí last year for this program. Adúpẹ́ pé this year Ọlọ́run dá gbogbo wa sí. Ojú tún pé ẹsẹ̀ tún pẹ̀lẹ́ síbí. Adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. Ètò yìí ètò pàtàkì nílùú Èkó. Ṣùgbọ́n mo rí òye kan nípa ètò yìí. Òye tí mo dẹ̀ rí níbẹ̀ ni wípé tá bá ti wá bí, tá bá ti sọ̀rọ̀, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́, nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́, ibi náà ni gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́. Ní last year, specifically, mo sọ nǹkan mẹ́ta tó jẹ wá níyà ní ìlú Agbowa Ekosi. Torí ti bá kó wọn bí wọn lọ jábọ̀ fáwọn aráàlú pípẹ́ ibi tẹ́ rán mi lọ nǹkan báyìí nǹkan báyìí ni mo ṣe ń bẹ̀. Ìkíní mo sọ̀rọ̀ ferry service bí a nílò ẹ̀ ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì, mo dẹ̀ ti kọ lẹ́tà sí ministry, mo ti rìn pa ẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n títí di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò sí nǹkan kan tó ti di ẹ̀yọ. Ìkejì mo sọ̀rọ̀ ilé ìwé pé àwọn ọmọ wa ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì wọn ò rí ilé ìwé lọ mọ́. Ilé ìwé tó wà ń bẹ̀, àwọn ọmọ tó wà nínú kíláàsì wọn ò lóǹkà. Torí ìdí èyí ọ̀pọ̀jù àwọn ọmọ yẹn wọ́n kàn kó lé ní, wọn ò lọ sínú skul torí skul fúnra rẹ̀ kò wà conducive. Ìpè a nílò ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga ìmíì ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì. Di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí bákan náà ni. Ìkẹta òun ni General Hospital tó wà ní Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì. General Hospital tó wà l'Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì kì í ṣe aráàlú Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì nìkan ló ń lò ó. Gbogbo àwọn ìlú tọ́lọ́run jọ tò wá ságbègbè yẹn lájọ ń lò ó. Odò Àyàndélú, Ọ̀tà, Àgọ́-Òwu, Òrúgbò títí dé Tọ́kì àjọ ń lò ní. Ṣùgbọ́n bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí common x-ray machine kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ o ní General Hospital. Àwọn doctors wọn ní quarters tí wọ́n ń sùn. As a result àwọn doctors wọn kì í dúró nígbà náà níbi tán máa sùn. So àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí bó ṣe wà látọdún tó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló ṣe wà di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ìyẹn ni mo ṣe sọ síwájú pé tàbá ti sọ níbí ibi náà ló mọ. Kí ìjọba Èkó wọ́n jọ, inú mi dùn pé deputy governor wọ́n jọ ìwà wọn wo nǹkan tá à ń ṣe níbí, torí pé bá ṣe wà níbí àwọn èèyàn àwa náà ń lọ jábọ̀ fún wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣojú wọn. Iṣẹ́ tẹran wa nǹkan báyìí lásọ lọ́hùn, nǹkan báyìí lásọ lọ́hùn. Oníkálukú wọn á dẹ̀ wá lajú wọn lẹ̀, wọn á máa retí kíjọba kan ṣe nǹkan nípa ọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá wá. So ọ̀rọ̀ mi náà ó dá lórí àwọn ọmọ mẹ́ta yìí náà. Ìkíní ferry service, ìkejì school, secondary school in Àgbọ̀wá Ìkòsì, and the third one General Hospital wa ó nílò àbójútó gidi. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́.
Ẹ ṣé dẹ́bùtì wa. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe sọ̀rọ̀, a ní nínú àwọn nǹkan mẹ́rin tí a bèrè láti Lekki LCDA. I requested for ferry lọ́wọ́ ti gbé wá sí Èbúté Lekki láti ọ̀dọ̀ representative wa ọ̀rọ̀ ìdílé Àjàyí. Àdègbàládúrà pé kí Ọlọ́run bá kó má bàa lóògùn bá. Wá rí lára àwọn sọ ní last year náà ni wípé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá òkú kan ṣẹlẹ̀ ní last year ààrẹ tí mo tó ìbọn yìí àyè látara deep sea port àti Dangote jetty tí wọ́n ṣe sí àgbègbè wa. Òkun yẹn ṣe ló mú ọ̀dọ̀ wa láti ṣírìwọ́ ìgbẹ́ kodó padà sí òkun Ìsẹ̀, kódà oko Ìdé, gbogbo àwọn pẹ̀rẹ̀gán àfọ́fàdà sí wa oko. Àwọn àgbọn, igi àgbọn táwọn bàbá wa fi rán wa níléèwé ní ìgbà ìwáṣẹ̀, yẹ́kú tó bá fẹ́ ṣọdún gan òun ló fi rẹ ẹran, gbogbo ẹ̀ pátá lòkùnrin kó lọ. Kò tó wá mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àti ọkọ̀. We were known for fishing, major source of income wa nìyẹn. ọkọ̀ àwò engine tí àwọn èèyàn wá fi ń jẹ gbogbo èrò lópin kó lọ. In short, bá a ṣe sọ yìí, the liabilities of the communities involved ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọba ló wà o. Tẹ́ bá dèlù sí ìyàn pariwo òṣùwọ̀n lówó ọkọ̀ mọ́ òṣòwò àwòsùn èjì. Local government náà gbìyànjú, ṣùgbọ́n tí state government náà bá bá wa through the Ministry of Agriculture láti empower àwọn èèyàn yìí padà to go back to their source of livelihood. Amadukwe Fudoba, ẹ bá wa ṣe ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run. Another thing náà ta fẹ́ sọ ní ọ̀rọ̀ iná. Deputy sir, general iná bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ṣùgbọ́n tí ó kú ó ti fẹ́ tó 20 years sí. Ẹjọ́ ẹ bá ṣe ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run tẹ́ bá ẹ bá ṣe sí ó ti fẹ́ jù 20 years now. Kàmá ní lọ́dún tí ó kù wa. Iye tó wá ṣe ìgbẹ̀yẹ a ní school secondary school ní data ní agbègbè lẹ́kẹ́ LCDA tó bá ti di during rainy season àwọn ọmọ wọlé lọ school. Kí ló fà á? Kò sí ọ̀nà tó dé ìlú yẹn tó dáa. In fact, táwọn bá fẹ́ léwé omi tó máa ń wọ́ ó kọjá ìdí. Ẹ̀rọ pé ọmọ tó wọ ní káàbí trọ́sà tó lọ school ó máa ń láti bọ́ gbogbo aṣọ ẹ̀. So mostly àwọn èkó lọ school during the rainy season. Ẹjọ́ ọ̀nà yẹn ní problem wa kọ́ bá wa ṣe láti fi ṣe kọ́ wa lọ sí léwu dáṣe.
As the day drew to a close, a collective resolve emerged among all participants. The forum's conclusion was marked by a shared dedication to working together towards the outlined objectives. This united effort aimed to improve the quality of life for every community member, demonstrating the indispensable role of the community input in crafting effective policy and budgets. I am Inumidun Cholubo reporting for Eco Hot Blog.
Good afternoon. My name is Okwe George. I work as the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget for Lagos State. Okay, so thank you. So for us, we're here in the Ekwe division for us to be able to hear from the good people of Ekwe, to hear what they want in their 2025 budget. It's also for us to come here and give them an account of what has happened in their 2024 budget so far. When we were here last year, there are certain things they asked for, so to give an update as to where we are with that. And then to also hear from them, as I said, going forward for our 2025, so we can go back and start to put together our budget estimates for 2025. Our message to people is that, it's an inclusive government. It's Themes Plus agenda, plus being gender equality and no one being left behind. So it's an all-inclusive government. So for us, it's very important to be able to hear directly from the people. It is their budget, and for them to also know that they are part of the process of budgeting and part of participation for creating our 2025 budget. Okay, well, for us is to say that we're a responsive government. We listen to what you say, what you've asked for. We'll take back what you've asked us for, go back. There's some more requests we've gotten out of this forum. We'll take that back to our offices, look at it, and it's a continuous process. We don't expect it to end today. Throughout the whole year, we expect to be able to hear from people to say, look, this is what's happening, and also give updates as to where we are throughout the whole year. I think Lagosians are very well-informed people, and Lagosians know that, once we provide good critical infrastructure for them, they will look after it and take care of it. So it's for us to continuously ensure that we look after our environment, look after our infrastructure, make sure our drains are cleaned and all our environments are sort of in order for us to be able to sort of continuously maintain this critical infrastructure we put together.
Razak, Onibej of Ibejuland. Well, ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣúná àti ètò bá ṣe máa ṣe ìṣúná owó ọdún tó ń bọ̀ ni nǹkan tí wọ́n pè wá fún lẹ́nu. So, and from nínú àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n bá wa sọ, a rí pé ó dáa kó gbé wọ́n ṣe ń gbé yìí, because àwa nǹkan tá a bá fẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí aráàlú ó lè má jẹ nǹkan táwọn onírú lọ́kàn láti wá ṣe fún wa. Nǹkan táwa méjèèjì bá jọ jókòó báyìí, so wọ́n á mọ nǹkan tí àwa fẹ́, so ìyẹn gan ni jókòó yẹn dá lé lórí, of which good step ni, we love it. Sanwó-Olú ọmọ dáadáa ni, ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa, Bẹ̀jùlẹ́kì tèmi ti wá sí wọ́n ṣe púpọ̀ fún wa bẹ́ẹ̀. But like they always say, we still need to demand for more. So irú Bẹ̀jùlẹ́kì sí our fair school, tertiary institution, you know, it will not be good for us to have everything. Ká ní gbogbo ẹ̀, ká ní airport, ká ní deep sea, ká ní kẹ́nìkan. But tá bá lack education, ní kankan. So that is why we are appealing to the government. Pé kó bá wa kó gbé ilé ìwé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga àgbà kó gbé wá fún wa Bẹ̀jùlẹ́kì. So àwọn kan tá a túbọ̀ èyí tó jẹ́ wá lógún jù nìyẹn. Then corridor kan wà ń bẹ̀ tá à ń pè ní Omu Creek. À ń fẹ́ ọ̀nà tó dáa ń bẹ̀ yẹn láti Tom Ẹlẹ́ran-ọ̀gbẹ́ road. So kó bá wa fi sínú bọ́jẹ̀tì kò tí kọjá so that àwọn èèyàn wa náà á lè ní ìgbé ayé tó dáa. So we will all enjoy the betterment of Lagos State and the government. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
I am Alailua Oba Barrister Owolabi Saheed Momsi, the Agbowa of Agbowa Ikosi, Lagos State. Well, I can say the event is a memorable one. I was there last year, for this same program. And if you listen carefully, when I was making a presentation to the Deputy Governor, I told him that I was here last year. I made my presentation, but nothing was done. On the 3 requests, that I made, nothing was done. But this year, the Deputy Governor has promised that thing is not going to repeat itself. And he asked me, to put it down in writing and give it to the Honorable Commissioner. That shows that the government is responsive. They want to hear from us, and whatever they hear from us, they want to act on it. What I can say to the government is to keep up the good work they are doing. They are doing good in so many areas. The economy is doing well. The area of security, they need to do something about it. Because the way things are going in the country now, if nothing is done about security, then it will get to a state that we won't be able to sleep with our eyes closed. And we don't pray that we get to that stage. Then electricity, even though I know that they are handicapped in a way, but they should look for a way to help us in the area of energy, electricity generation in Lagos State. We have what it takes, to do all those things. So government should sit down, plan very well, and set out to achieve some of these things.
My name is Mustafa Shitu Adeniyi. I am the special advisor to the Chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter, on technical matters. Apparently, this is a very good occasion. It is an avenue for the people of Epe Division to speak out their minds as to what they think the government can do to improve the state of things in the entire Epe Division. So I think it is highly commendable. We must commend the state government for this initiative. I've been a beneficiary of this. I've attended series of this kind of program, and I think the government have been able to ensure that what the feedback they get from the masses, they have been able to impute. They have been imputing it in the budget from time immemorial. So it's highly commendable. We appreciate the state government for this. It's important as youth. We must understand the fact that at every point in time, we can always state out our disheartenings in a more constructive way. But I do not support these protests in all sincerity, because at every point in time, when you see that protests of this nature are always hijacked by hoodlums, and at the end of the day, what they really want to achieve, they might not achieve it. So I'm not in support of these protests. I would just implore every youth that are feeling that the current economy is actually not favoring. It's not favoring me. It's not favoring each and every one of us. We know that. But protesting is actually not the best way to go. So we can always state our wants objectively to the government. That's just it.
Well, I'm Comrade Giwa Moshood Olashipo, a divisional youth leader, NYCN Epe Division. Well, this year's budget consultative forum 2024, it's actually an improvement from that of previous years. And we can see clearly that part of what we discussed in previous years have actually been built upon, and it has actually reflected in the scorecard of the government. And we believe the one we're doing today is actually going to be worked upon, and all people have actually said that they want their yearnings will be factored into the coming budget. So we are proud of Lagos State government because it's a very good interactive forum where you actually hear from the leadership of the government and the people who also, be able to hear their opinion. As the deputy governor of the state was actually communicating the gathering via a virtual session. It's so lovely. It's so lovely. Well, it's a fundamental right for every citizen to protest peacefully. But however, the sensitivity of that exercise is the concern of most of us that are youth, and particularly the youth of Lagos. Our Lagos is a center of excellence that we can't afford to lose. The memories, the sad memory of the NSAS protest is still with us, and for no reason we will want to support such a protest that will be violent, and particularly that which we do not know the motive behind the actors. So we wouldn't want to join any such, and we will not participate in any such. We have seen the government of the day as the listening type that will always give the avenue for interaction. Youth can hear their opinion, community people can hear their opinions. And part of such avenue the government has been given is that of today's exercise. So we've actually expressed our feelings. People have said today that the town is hot. The citizen needs support. There is hunger everywhere. So the government have listened, and I know the government will do something about it. So there wouldn't be need for any protest when we have the avenue to hear our opinion peacefully. So we see no reason for it, and we are not part of such. Yes, thank you.